Recently, my music video for the song Lingerie Model hit 100,000 views, which is nuts. Thanks everyone who watched it. It also made me think, why don't I make a YouTube video about how I go about making music videos? Because I'm a tiny artist working with a tiny team, no label, tiny budget, so it might be an interesting take on how to get stuff done when you don't have masses of resources. Let's go. Number 1, plan. The way I go about doing this is I make a storyboard and a document. The storyboard will be a bit like a comic strip with terrible sketches, with timestamps and descriptive words around it, which will enable me to explain my ideas to other people and have a set plan of events. Now, why do this? Because it saves loads of time on the day. You want to be as efficient as possible, so you don't want to be inventing the idea whilst you're doing it too much, because you might not come up with anything good and then you waste time and money. So plan. You might not know how you want the video to start, but I would hone in on certain lyrics and think, okay, when I say push-up bra, I want there to be bras around me. Easy, that's a good place to start, and then slowly fill in everything around it. 2, improvise. Now, I've just said how important planning is, but it's also important to be flexible. In my experience for music videos, it goes to plan 80% of the time, and then some of the shots you envisaged might not work for some reason. For example, during the bridge in Lingerie Model, I wanted a slow zoom out during the time where I've got the eggs on my tits, because I thought that would be atmospheric and cool and add contrast. We couldn't do that, we didn't have a zoom lens or enough space to do that. So Jake came up with the idea of doing stills and coming away. That looked great, didn't matter, it was a good alternative. There's no point getting a bee in your bonnet about it not being identical to the plan. 3, steal. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every time you make a new music video. Obviously, people will have done things similar to what you are doing, and you can use that to your advantage. Now, I'm not saying completely lift other people's ideas, but you can take elements of what people are doing. For example, there's an artist called Sarah Lucas, who I've been a fan of for quite some time. She made this. I wanted to pay homage to that in my music video because it was relevant. So that's what the bridge is based around. But you can steal far smaller elements of things. For example, this Paramore video has a lipstick thing, which I stole here. Lots of the angles in Eminem videos, we stole for the angles in our video. And those are just a few examples of the many things that I've stolen throughout the video. No one's having completely original ideas, they're just building on other people's ideas, basically. That's what creativity is. 4, distill. You want to think like a brand or an advertising agency. How can you compress your ideas into something that is immediately recognisable? I wanted to link the song to the image very strongly. The way I did this was, the title of the song is Lingerie Model. I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Lingerie Model. Every time you see that t-shirt, you think of the song, hopefully. You also want to be recognisable like a cartoon character. Think of Bart Simpson, for example. We all know what he looks like. So the way I did this was, I thought, okay, I'm going to have the long coat, the boots, the contact lenses, the t-shirt that says Lingerie Model, any clothes I'm wearing are kind of muted colours or red. There's a lot of red in the video. The colour grade, I wanted it to be recognisable. This is the contact lens toilet person who shoots videos in toilets, and that's weird. Branding. 5, work within your means. Now, obviously you can't spend budget you don't have. So you can use that actually to your advantage by making it force you to be more creative. Number 1, we couldn't afford any location, so we used location we already had. The toilet and a bedroom. This actually made it more recognisable because no one shoots music videos in toilets anymore, so that was useful. We also couldn't afford having anyone else in the music video or any special effects, and I mostly used clothes that I already owned. This gave it a kind of rough and ready aesthetic which suited the song, so that was fine. It wasn't a problem. It would have been a worse video if we'd spent more money on it. Limitations make you creative. I find that things made by a committee with big budget, they're going to rehash the same ideas a little bit more maybe, and so don't be mad about not having budget, that's fine. Admittedly though, we did have nice cameras and lights and stuff. Which takes me to number 6, team. There is a lot of expertise in this stuff, and I do not have it. So I work with people who can complement what I want rather than compete with what I want. I work with Light in the Tower, who are a production company made up of Jake and Alex. Jake is a genius when it comes to cameras and lighting, which I know nothing about, so I do not make decisions about what lens we're going to use or what lighting we're going to have. I describe the kind of aesthetic I want, and then Jake needs to make that happen. Alex does more of an AD role / an everything role on shoots, so he's keeping the shoot on schedule. I can't do that whilst I'm focusing on what I'm doing, which is being in the video and making sure that like I don't have shit up my nose and whatever. It's really important to find people you collaborate well with and then hold on to them. You want it to feel safe, you want everyone to communicate well, and you want it to feel like you're all aiming for the same thing, which we've had on all of the music videos we've done together. 7. Pacing. Now, I edit the music videos. Am I an editing genius? No. I can make simple cuts. That's generally all that's needed. And a good thing to consider is, are you cutting in time with the music? What are you drawing attention to with your cuts? And can you increase the energy or the intensity by increasing the rate of your cuts? That's kind of all I do with editing. I keep it very simple. 8. Props. This is a cheap way of giving your music video more detail. I made Lingerie Model magazine, the Lingerie Model t-shirt, the tits painting, those kinds of things. They're fun to make, they add a bit of an Easter egg quality to what you're doing, and no one else will have exactly the same props because you've made them yourself. So I think that's a great thing to do. 9. Find your tone. Now, I used to make super serious songs because that's what the people around me were doing. I thought that's what music was. It had to have some element of seriousness to it, otherwise it was not a song. And that's not true. You can find your own tone for stuff. I do the same with my visuals now. The directors I think do this really well are Peter Strickland, David Lynch, Yorgos Lanthimos, Wes Anderson. They've got like such a specific humour in what they do. They're all slightly different, but I wanted to bring that into my own videos. I'm not saying I'm like a massive director. I'm a tiny person making a music video, but we can dream. The way I did this was I had like the loo roll binoculars, which I thought were funny, and I took from the Mighty Boosh. They had that whole like solo polo vision thing. I thought you could have loo roll vision, that might be funny. And singing into a toilet brush with washing up gloves on, having a camera in the toilet bowl, and having my trousers around my ankles for most of the video. I thought that stuff's quite funny, and it's also distinctive. It surprises people. I had lots of comments on things, people being like, why are you filming in toilets? Because it makes you comment on it, and it's relevant to the song, and because other people aren't doing it, so it's fun. 10. Lean into your strengths. Now, I don't have a lot of strengths when it comes to acting, dancing, so I don't do that in music videos. I am good at playing live, like I have decent energy and I'm quite good at jumping around, so I focus on that. I try not to be in a music video not lip syncing or not having a task or an activity I'm doing, because I just look like a lemon and I know that doesn't work for me. So I give myself simple activities to do. That works for me. If you're great at dancing, if you're a great, I don't know, like magic performer, do that. Here endeth my video about the Lingerie Model music video. You can watch the music video here. I suggest you do, because otherwise this video kind of doesn't make any sense to you. And I'm currently making music videos for new songs, which is very exciting, so make sure you're subscribed to keep up with the journey on all of that stuff when I can speak about it, and comment any questions you might have about this video or anything else really. Cheers, alright, bye, have a lovely day.